Merry meet everyone. It's me, Kitty, and we're going to be making
ricotta stuffed shells and ricotta dill bread for Imbolc.
Yes.
Okay, now the first thing you want to do when making this is you want to start boiling your water in a fairly large pot according to how many shells you're going to do. And then you need to assemble your ingredients for your sauce. We're going to be doing a really simple but really tasty sauce for the shells. And also you want to put some salt in your water so that when it starts boiling and you put your shells in, your starches don't start forming at the top. So I'm going to add some
sea salt.
a little bit of salt to my water. And then we're going to start our sauce.
Now here's a suggestion for craft, if you really want to. You take paper and you make as many you cut it into as many family members as you have, and you put elements like north, east, west, and south, and do their color in it if you have colored pencils and the elements. It's really fun and it's cute.
Alright, so I'm just taking a wok. You can use a saute pan, whatever. I'm going to add a little bit of oil to that.
What I've noticed is
and get it really hot.
What I've noticed is that every time you use a wok, you tend to put oil in it. I'm not sure if there are recipes that don't call for oil in the wok, but I've just seen a lot of people using oil in their wok.
And then we're going to add about half of this container of diced red onions. And we want those to brown. I like mine a little more caramelized than sauteed because I like the sweetness of it. Just really adds to the flavor. Alright, now I've got my onions looking about like I like them. You want them a little less done than you might want them because the next thing we're going to do is add our mushrooms. And these are sliced baby bellas.
Even baby bellas tend to be very large.
And I'm going to use about a half a container there too. And I'm just going to cut these up a little more. There's my spatula. side. This is a vegetarian dish that does have cheese in it because this is Imbolc and it's very dairy holiday. Alright, and we're going to turn that off. I'm going to get a large bowl. And I'm going to use about a third of this. And I'm going to reserve it and let it cool. And the rest I'm going to add to the pot that I'm going to be making my sauce in, and I'm going to make a mess. And our water is boiling. Kitty, will you get the shells out of the pantry? And you're going to add as many as you want to make. Kitty, do you want any shells?
Yes, please.
You're going to have sauce on them.
I don't mind. They're like little boats sailing. Only
yep.
few of them.
But you want them to sink. You don't want them to sail. And now we're going to make a mess. Stir that up so that they're not touching. I'm going to cover it, and it's still at a boil. We're going to turn it off. The next thing we're going to do is make our sauce. Set that aside. We're going to open up a can of crushed tomatoes, a large can. We'll put that into our pot with our mushrooms and onions. I'm going to turn our heat on to medium. Will you rinse that out and put it in recycle, please?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
And then we're just going to add some oregano. Some basil. Now this is brown sugar Splenda, so it's a lot more potent than just regular brown sugar, because 2 tablespoons of this is the equivalent of a 1/4 tablespoon of regular brown sugar. So if you're going to use regular brown sugar, you may have to use more. I think I'm going to do just a little less than another tablespoon. Yeah, that's good. Alright. So the next thing, we're just going to let that simmer for a little while on low. And we got our noodles cooking in the water, but the stove is actually off. And we're just going to leave that for, we'll check it in about 15 minutes to see if the noodles are done. Alright, so now we're going to check our noodles. It's been 15 minutes, and you want them to be still a little firm, but well done. I'd say those look pretty good. So we're going to drain them. And we're going to rinse them in cold water when we drain them so that we can actually touch them and stuff them. Alright, so in our small bowl with the onions and mushrooms, we're going to add hard skim ricotta. We're also going to add about a handful of mozzarella to that. Like I said, just mix it up real good. Alright, when you get it mixed up real good, it should look like that, which is really nice. Okay, we're going to set that aside again, and we're going to make our ricotta dill bread. Alright, so for our ricotta dill bread, we're going to need a half cup of unbleached flour. That one.
Pour it in?
Yes. 1 cup of whole wheat flour. That one. A teaspoon of baking powder. A teaspoon of baking soda. A tablespoon of dried dill.
Dill.
3 egg whites. And a cup of whole ricotta cheese. We're also going to need 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon of canola oil. And we're going to need a half a cup of water. And then we're just going to stir that up really good.
May I?
Go ahead. Preheat our oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Oil our loaf pan. Alright, now this bread is going to take 5 minutes longer than our stuffed shells to bake. So we're going to go ahead, once we're done, and this is just a really quick, tasty bread. No need for it to rise or anything. And that's ready to go in the oven, just like that. We're going to set a timer for 5 minutes. And now we're going to get out our casserole dish. Alright, and we're just going to spray those lightly for easier cleanup. And then we're going to put a little bit of sauce in the bottom. Oh, and by the way, we turned off the sauce quite some time ago because it started bubbling up and making a mess. Just want to put a light bit of sauce in the bottom. I'm going to take a noodle, a big honking spoonful of our stuffing, and it is really that easy. Alright, so our timer has just gone off. Perfect timing. We're going to add our sauce on top of these.
Looks delicious.
Kind of evenly. Make sure you cover all of the noodles so that they don't dry out in baking.
You paper.
Alright, so we're going to add mozzarella on top. Thank you, ma'am.
Oh.
And these are going to go into the oven right beside the bread. We're going to set our timer for another 30 minutes. Alright, so it has been 30 minutes and our shells are done. Isn't that beautiful? And our bread is done.
Ooh.
And the bread just comes right out like that. And you want to eat it warm, because that's when it's really best. Right now it's really hot. And that gorgeous.
Smells delicious.
And just slice it. And that is our Imbolc feast. We're going to have a nice salad with it, with some feta cheese in the salad and just a little raspberry vinaigrette. And we're going to have some chocolate. But thanks for being with us and having fun in our kitchen with us, and hope you have a great Imbolc, even if you've already had it like we have, because I'll be posting this today or tonight. And I just want to say, blessed Imbolc and blessed be.
Blessed be.